Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this particular tutorial, I'm going to be teaching us how to make a standing collar, or you can also call it a built-up collar. What I'm trying to say is that you are going to be making this collar that is like a bishop collar, but it is cut together with the fabric. Do you understand? With the material. So that's what we are going to be making today. So if you really want to learn it, I want you guys to make sure you watch this video to the end. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Make sure you like this video, and thanks very much. God bless you.
So we have our measurement. As you can see, we have shoulder of 14 inches. We have a bust of 9/35 inches. So looking at this now, the 9 actually means the bust length, which is from shoulder to the nipple point, which is 9 inches, and the bust circumference is 35 inches. The same thing goes to the under bust, which is the under bust length is 13 inches, while the under bust circumference is 30 inches. This is actually the blouse length for those that are working on blouse, which is 22 inches. The blouse hip, for those that are working on blouse, the blouse hip is, remember, when you measure your blouse length, which is 22, at that point where the blouse and the circumference of it is called the blouse hip, and the circumference is 36 inches. Now this is the hip length for those working for gown. The hip length, that is the measurement from the shoulder down to the hip point, is 24 inches. Now the round hip, which is the circumference of the hip, is 38 inches. Why the gown length? This is a very short gown, which is actually 33 inches. This is the gown length. So the first thing we are going to be doing now, we are going to be folding. Remember, we have the formula we use in folding. We already have the formula, and the formula is the highest circumference divided by 4 plus 5 inches allowance. That is to get the width of the material we are going to be folding. Now the highest circumference is 38 inches divided by 4 is going to give us 9.5. Now add extra 5 to it. What you get is 14.5. So by me looking at this, so you guys can see we have already folded 14.5. So you don't fold considering only the width, you also fold considering the length of the dress you are making. Now for the sake of this particular tutorial, the length of the dress we are making is 33 inches. Remember I said it's a very short gown. Are you seeing it's 33? Now because we are making a together bishop collar, remember, don't forget your extra 2 inches allowance for hemming allowance. That is 33 plus 2 gives you 35. And also you need to add extra 5 inches. Please, this 5 inches is for the together bishop collar. Remember I said the 33 plus 2 inches hemming, which is 35, plus extra 5, which is actually how many? 40. So that means the length of your folded material or folded pattern paper is going to be 40 inches. So that is really how to fold. As you guys can see, we have folded it. Are you seeing it? Okay. So after that, the next thing we have to do is to mark out the vertical measurements. Are you seeing it? The vertical measurement, we are going to start from marking out 5 inches allowance. Remember I said 5 inches is for the bishop collar. Do you understand? We are going to mark it out first. So mark out 5 inches allowance like this. Are you seeing it? Mark it out like this. 5 inches allowance. When you are done, please use your ruler and connect in order to get a straight line. Okay, now we have marked out the 5 inches. The next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be starting from here to mark other measurement points out. Do you understand? Remember, don't start from here, rather you start from here. Okay, from here to here is the 5 inches, which is for the together collar. So now let's start. The under bust length, which is 13 inches. Are you seeing it? 13 inches. Okay, also remember the bust length, which is how many? 9 inches. Are you seeing it? Do the same thing here. Please, the reason why we are marking it out into 2 is to make sure we get a straight line. Now look at it, guys. These 2 points will help us, it will enable us get a straight line. Okay. So after you are done doing that, next thing you need to do is to mark out the hip length and the blouse, the gown length. Okay, the hip length, which is 24, and the gown length, which is how many? 33. Remember, plus extra 2 inches allowance. Okay, do the same thing here. Mark out the hip length, which is 24, the gown length, which is 23, and extra 2 inches allowance. Okay, then when you are done, next thing you need to do is to use your rule and connect in order to get a straight line. Use your rule and connect. So guys, at the end of the day, from here to here, like I said, is for the collar, while here is for the shoulder, here is for the bust length, here is for the under bust length, and here is for the hip length, here is for the gown length, and the allowance. Are you saying it? For the hemming allowance. Are you saying it? So next thing we are going to be doing now is just the same thing we do on our normal dress. Let's construct the armhole. But before we construct the armhole, we need to first mark out the shoulder. So let's do that. So the shoulder in this case is how many? 14 inches. So what are we going to do? We are going to divide 14 by 2. So let's 14 divided by 2 is how many? 7 inches. Are you saying it? Give extra half to it, which is 7.5. This half inch is for the seam allowance for both the sleeve and the armhole. Okay, now do the same thing here and mark out 7.5 also. Now look at it, 7.5. When you are done, use your stretch rule and then connect. This while you are connecting, doesn't matter whether you reach at the bust length, wherever you reach, remember what you are working on. You're working on your pattern paper or you are working with a chalk. Do you understand? The mark is not going to be permanent. So just connect up to that point. Next thing we are going to be doing now, we are going to be constructing what we call the shoulder slope. Hope you guys know what shoulder slope is. There's nobody on this earth that doesn't have a slanted shoulder. Their own might not be as slanted as the other person's own. Do you understand? But shoulder is always slanted. There's nobody's shoulder that is as straight as this line. Do you understand? It must be slanted from the neck. So now let's slant this particular one. Now we have what we call the average neck width. I usually use it to slant. Do you understand? So the average neck width on fold is 3 inches. Are you saying it? On fold is 3 inches. While expanded is how many? 6 inches. Do you understand? Okay. So now, in order to slant, we need to mark out how many here for female? 1. Like I said, for female is from 1 to 2 depending on what you are making, while for male is from 2 to 3 depending on what you're making and how broad the person's shoulder is. Do you understand? So now you are done. Next thing you need to do is to connect in order to mark out the shoulder slope. Okay. Now you are done. Next thing we are going to do is to fully construct the armhole. So in order to construct the armhole, remember what I told you guys, there's something we call the armhole length. Armhole length is the distance from the tip of the shoulder down to the armpit. Do you understand? That is what we call the armhole length. Now in order to get the armhole length, is either you measure it or use the formula, which I prefer people using the formula. There are different kinds of formula. The simplest one that I have is whatever you get here. Are you seeing it? Whatever your shoulder is divided by 2, which is 7 plus half is 7.5. That's the same thing I want you guys to do here. Are you seeing it? From here to how many? 7.5. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now draw a horizontal line. Remember, we are still in the process of constructing the armhole. So next thing you need to do, please, does any of you want to know another formula to get from here to here? Yeah? Okay, another formula is the round bus divided by 6 plus 1.5. This is another formula. Are you seeing it? Round bus divided by 6 plus 1.5. But remember what I've used? I use the simplest method, which is whatever you get here, just take it down. Do you understand? Okay. So next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be getting the curve, armhole curve. In order to get it, remember it's very simple. Some of us will just do something like this. Are you saying it? It is still very much okay. But because we are in a class, we need everybody to know how we got to this curve. All you have to do is from here, are you seeing it? Diagonally place your tape like this and mark out how many? 1 inch. Look at it. 1 inch. Are you seeing it's still corresponding to that point? So that's why when you people do this kind of a thing, it will end up rhyming. Do you understand? But this is how to get it. Mark out. Okay. So next thing you need to do is to connect the curve. In order for you to connect the curve, please, it's not hard. All you have to do is from here to here. Are you seeing it? 7.5 divided by 2. When you divide it by 2, 7.5 divided by 2 is how many? 3/3. Are you seeing it? This is the part. Are you seeing this is the midpoint of here to here? So all you have to do is to connect from here with a curve. Just the same thing we have done here. Please, you can either use your free hand, are you seeing it, or use a curve. We have armhole curve, we have other types of French curve, and you can even use a broomstick. In my different tutorials, I also taught us how to use broomstick to get this curve. Do you understand? Okay, so we are done constructing the armhole, but there's something remaining, especially for the front part of the armhole, which is called the armhole effect. Do you understand? Now, what is this armhole effect? It's like, I also call it the armhole dart. It is a dart added to the armhole in order to make sure that all the excess rumplings and foldings disappear. Do you understand? With it, the armhole is going to be, smooth. It's not going to be too rumpled. So how do you get it? Remember the midpoint we got here. Remember the midpoint, the middle part of from here to here. Are you seeing it? All you have to do is from here step backward. Are you seeing it? With either from 1/2 inch to 1 inch. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using 3/4 inch. Look at it, 3/4 inch. Are you seeing it? Okay, now look at it. Next thing we are going to be doing is connecting from here to here, then down to here. Let's connect, guys. Remember, you can either use your broomstick, your French curve, any other curve you want to use. Now look at it. Are you seeing it? So what does this mean? It means that for the front part of the armhole, we are going to be cutting from here, while for the back part we are going to be cutting from here. Are you seeing it? Please note, if you are cutting, I always advise for you to start from the back part. Then after you have used the front to cut your back, then at the end of the day you can cut off the front, only the front. Please note that. So you guys can see we are done with the armhole. Next thing we need to do is to complete the shape of the gown. Now, which type of gown are we working on? Is it straight cut gown, or is it A-line gown, or is it pencil gown? Whatever you are doing depends on what you want to achieve. Do you understand? So let's start. Let's start from the bust circumference. The bust circumference is 35. 35 divided by 4. What is it going to give us? 8 3/4. Okay. 8 3/4. Now look at it, guys. Now add your own allowance. Do you understand? Your body allowance. So your body allowance ranges from 2 to 3 inches. Do you understand? If you are putting a dart, please advise you to use 3 inches. What I mean is that you are putting a dart that you don't need to cut off and replace. Do you understand? All I want you to use is 3 inches. But if you are not putting a dart, use 2 inches. Do you understand? For the sake of this particular tutorial, I'll be using 2 inches. So now the under bust, which is 30 inches divided by 4, is going to be 7.5. Are you seeing it? Now add extra 2 inches to it. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now let's get to the hip. The hip, which is 38. 38 divided by 4 is how many? 9.5. Then you add extra 2 inches to it. Are you saying it? Okay, in this class I'm going to use the opportunity to teach us the difference between a pencil gown, straight cut gown, and a A-line gown. Do you understand? Okay, so in order to make a pencil gown, let's start with the pencil gown. What do you need to do? Please, it's not hard, it's very, very simple. All you need to do is remember what we used here is how many? 9.5 plus extra 2, which is 11.5. Please, all I want you to do is to take it down like this. Are you seeing it? 11.5. Remember I said pencil. 11.5. All you have to do is to look at it. Step back with 1, either 1 or 1.5. That gives you a pencil gown. Now, if I step back with me, I usually like to use 1.5. Do you understand? Please, depending on the type of customer you are working for. Now, next thing you need to do is to connect all those points in order to form the pencil gown. Now, let's connect it. Are you seeing it? Let's connect. Okay. Are you seeing it? That's a pencil gown. Now, for you to make a straight cut gown, this straight cut gown is not hard. Remember that time you measured from here to here, and you marked it from here to here. Are you seeing it? See, look at it. A pencil gown is 1.5 inch, 1 inch or 2 inches lesser. Are you seeing it? Why a straight cut gown is exactly what is on the hip. Just take it down. So if you're working for a straight cut gown, see what you have to get. Look at it, guys. A straight cut gown. Look at it from here to here. Are you seeing it? From here to here. Look at the shape. Look at the shape, guys. Are you seeing it? This is a straight cut gown. Are you seeing it? Okay. Why an A-line gown? Remember the same method you added 1.5 inch here. You entered with 1.5. It's the same thing you are going to do for A-line gown. You understand? You can either step out with what? 1.5 or more, depending on what you want to achieve. Do you understand? Okay. So look at it for A-line gown. Are you seeing it? Look. Are you seeing it? So this one is for pencil, this one is for straight, and this one is for A-line. Is there anybody that did not understand this part? The next we are going to be doing is that we are going to be constructing the neck. So to construct the neck, guys, look at it. First of all, we choose the neck width we want. Do you understand? Whenever you're making a bishop neck, remember a bishop neck is like a normal shirt neck. It's not usually too wide. Do you understand? So it is usually from 2 inches down to 3 inches majorly. We don't make it to be wider than that. Depending on how big the neck is or how huge the neck is. From 2 inches is for slim people, 2.5 is average, 3 is even for big people. Do you understand? Okay, but for the sake of this particular tutorial, we are going to be working with 3 inches. Do you understand? We are going to be working with how many? 3 inches. Yeah, because that is also the same thing we use for jackets, suits. Do you understand? So let's say the neck width is 3 inches. Are you seeing it? Which is corresponding to the average neck width. So now, next thing you need to do is look at it, 3 inches. Then the neck depth we are going to be using, depending on where you want your V-neck to, the depth of your V-neck. Do you understand? Depending on where you want it. So what are we going to be using? We are going to be using 6.5 to 7 inches. Okay, so that's what we are going to be using. Let me use 7 inches. Are you seeing it? Okay, so now look at it, guys. So you have to connect the V-neck. Please, depending on how you want your V-neck to be, if it is a sharp V, do it this way. Are you seeing it? Okay, so connect it. Connect your V-neck down to here. Are you seeing it? Please extend it, continue. Are you seeing it? Continue, just like that. Okay, next thing we are going to be doing is, remember, there is a see, this collar, there is this thickness. Do you understand? Depending on how thick you want your collar to be. Yeah? You guys know, even when you are doing a normal bishop collar, this thing, yeah, the thickness, are you seeing it? What do I call it? Is it the length or the width? Yeah, the length, that is from here. Look at it, from here to here. Sometimes we use 1 inch, sometimes we use 1.5. Some people use 2 inches. Do you understand? For the sake of this tutorial, we are going to be using how many? We are going to be using 1.5. Are you seeing it? So all you have to measure is from here. Mark out how many? 1.5. Are you seeing it? Do the same thing here. From here, mark out 1.5. Are you seeing it? From here, mark out how many? 1.5. Okay, next thing you need to do is to use your ruler and then connect. Connect the 1.5. Okay, it is not hard, it's very, very simple. So next thing you need to do is, now, please, here is very, very important. Remember, the nature of this collar is to be folded down to here. So that is why the distance of from here to here, which is how many? 3 inches, is supposed to be transferred to here. Look at it, guys. 3 inches to be transferred to here. Are you seeing it? Now look now. 3 inches. Are you seeing it? Let's go with this one again. How many? 3 inches. Are you seeing it? Look at it. 3 inches. 3 inches. Are you seeing it? So draw a line, connecting line.
So after marking it out, next thing you need to do is to add your allowance. So the allowance we are going to be adding is extra 2 inches. Now that extra 2 inches is 1.5 for the collar thickness and extra half for the joining. Now look at it. At the end of the day, it runs up to 2 inches. That is actually what we are using. Do you understand? Now look at it. You mark your 2 inches this way. Are you seeing it? But in a situation whereby you are putting a zip at the back, and let's say your zipper allowance is 1 inch, all you have to do is 1.5 inches for the collar thickness and 1 inch for the zip, which is going to be 2.5. But mind you, you need to first of all provide this allowance before you start your drafting.
So the next thing we need to do is to cut it off. As you guys can see, this is how you cut it off. Now there's something else I really want to show you guys. Look at it here. Now look at it. This is how it works. Are you seeing it? This is how it is. Are you seeing it? You fold it this way. Are you seeing we have already gotten almost everything here? Okay, so let's cut out the back. Cutting the back is very, very simple. It's not hard. All you have to do is to fold the material the same way we folded for the front. Do you understand? But in this case now, you are not going to be leaving 5 inches at the upper part. Do you understand? Okay, but talking about the width, it just stays the same thing. So let's fold for the back. Yeah. So next thing we need to do, are you seeing we have folded the back? Next thing you need to do is to mark out 2 inches for your zipper allowance if you want to put a zip. So when you are done, next thing you need to do is to take it and place it. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now for those that are looking at this thing now, in fact, for this thing not to confuse you, you can fold it out. It doesn't really matter. Do you understand? You can fold it out this way. Look at it. You can fold it out this way, just like a normal V-neck. Are you seeing it? So next thing you need to do is to place it like this. So use your pin and hold both of them together so that it won't shift. Okay, so now we are done. Next thing you need to do is to draft your normal neck here. Do you understand? What I mean by normal neck, you can either use half inch to 1 inch. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using 1 inch. Yeah, I have a reason why I don't want it to be up to 2 inches. Do you understand? Okay, now look at it. The next thing you need to do is to connect with a curve. Look at it. It's like this. Are you seeing it? Okay, so when you are done, next thing you need to do is to use your scissors and then cut it off. Okay, so next thing you need to do is to use your scissors and open up the zipper allowance. Okay, are you guys seeing it? Okay, so remember you still have your collar with you. So guys, there's something else I skipped here. I want to show us. Now look at it. If I bring this thing out, are you seeing it? Now let's look at where the original neck plus this thing stops. Are you seeing it? So it's from there that we are supposed to look at it. It's from there that we are supposed to connect our neck. Are you seeing it? Okay, I just want us to know that. Are you seeing it? Okay. So look at how this thing works now. Look at it very well. It works this way.
So guys, as you can see, we are folding it and it's not reaching at the end, but is passing the center back with half inch. That is exactly what we cut for it. It's just that we decided to add a zipper allowance extra. Do you understand? But if yours is like that, please don't be scared in any way, because we are going to be adding it back as we are tracing our material right now. Are you seeing it? So take your scissors and cut it this way. Now look at it. Start from this neck, cut it. Are you seeing it? Just take your time and cut it. Then make sure you also add your allowance. Are you seeing it? Half inch allowance. Are you seeing it? That is what I'm actually adding now. Now there's still something else I want to let you know. Remember, at the back it was not reaching at the zipper allowance. Then we need to add extra now. Now look at it. You can always add it back when you are tracing your material, so don't be scared. Do you understand? Okay, I cut it in a way that we are not going to be having that kind of bigger zipper allowance, but at the end of the day I decided to put a zipper allowance. Okay, are you seeing it? Okay, so at your back also make sure you observe the armhole effect. Are you seeing it? Let's not forget it. So cut out the armhole effect in front. Cut it. Make sure you observe the armhole effect in front, please. Okay, so as you guys can see, we are almost there. Now take your scissors and cut this very side off. Take your scissors and then cut it off. And as you guys can see, we are now done. Now the collar is having extra. So next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be tracing out the back part. And as you guys can see, this is just how you trace it out. Yes, trace it out. So next thing we are going to be doing now is that we are going to be putting the armhole dart, which is very important because we are working on a sleeveless.
Whenever you're making a dress, like let's say you want to make sleeveless, it's usually important for you to put a dart on the sleeve. It's very, very important, especially the front dart. Even if you're not putting any other dart on the body, front dart on the armhole is very, very important. Okay, so for you to put the armhole dart, now look at the method I'm going to be using. Measure your under bust length. Are you seeing it? Get your bust length. It's not even compulsory for you to measure the under bust length. Just get your bust length. Are you seeing it? Now, the bust span for this person, that is the nipple to nipple, should be how many? 7. Bar? Okay, that is 3.5. Now look at it, guys. 3.5. Now we have gotten this point. Are you seeing it? 3.5. Now see what else I want you to get the midpoint, that midpoint of your shoulder. Do you understand? The midpoint is around here. Now look at it. The midpoint. Draw a straight line, a kind of a straight line, as if you are heading towards the bust point. Are you seeing it? Okay. Then next thing you need to do is to step up with how many? At least 1 inch. And this is where you are going to be darting. You are going to be darting here. Are you seeing it? You are going to be darting here. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now this dart, for those that have not experienced it, when you do a sleeveless, sometimes you receive you have excess around it. So this is how to reduce it. Do you understand? Then before you can now pipe, if you must pipe. So that's it. So all you have to do is to duplicate it on the other sides. Please, you can only do this thing only at the front, not at the back. So now guys, look, all you have to do is to from here just duplicate it. Are you seeing it? To the other side. Then this one also duplicate it. So when you are done, you can see I've duplicated it. All I have to do is to use my rule and then connect. In order to achieve a very, very neat work, all you can do on this thing is to do a facing. So guys, look at this. I just want to do the facing so as to achieve a very neat work. If you notice, you see that I don't have enough material. If I have enough material, I'll do everything, make sure that everything covers even the armhole. Do you understand? But I don't have enough material for that. So all I have to do is to fold it as I folded like this. Are you seeing it? Just to have the facing. So next thing I need to do is to look at it. Cut out 1/2 inch here because I'm going to actually join it back. Do you understand? Okay. Then here, look, here is 1/2 inch. Here I use exactly. Please be careful while cutting it so as not to make a mistake. Are you seeing it? So at the end of the day, I'm going to couple out here. Do you understand? Okay. Now remember, here is still folded. I have to open it up. Okay, since here is like this, you can on your own just create a design. Do you understand? Curve it this way. So at the end of the day, I've gotten a facing for this dress. Look at it. So if I remove the pin, you will see the facing here. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Have you seen it? Okay, so this is actually the facing. Like I said, next thing we are going to be doing, if you notice that I don't have enough material for this. Are you seeing it? So I'm kind of managing material. Okay, so I've placed material. So I'm going to be making facing for the back. Like I said, this facing for the back is not too compulsory because we can still do without the facing. Okay. The front and see, these two materials are not really equal. So I'm going to do it in a way that I'm going to open it and equalize them. Okay, as you can see, I have equalized it. Are you seeing it? I'm going to be managing it that way. I've equalized it. So next thing I really need to do is to weave it out and then sew. It's just as simple as that.
Thanks for watching, guys. I want you to make sure you purchase our new book. We have a new book, The Perfect Dress Cutting Guide. It will teach you how to cut anything you want to cut. Do you understand? So make sure you purchase it. We also make sure we put the link in the description box. Thanks and may God bless you.